We have Jackie from Hart, Ohio. Thank you for coming through here and letting us mind your biz.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, so introduce yourself. Tell us what you do, what you're doing, what you're promoting. Obviously, you're a fashion mogul and you're doing a lot of big things, and we just want everyone to know about you.
Awesome. Thanks for giving me the opportunity to speak. I appreciate that. So my name is Jackie Bertolette, and I started a fashion magazine in Ohio about 5.5 years ago. And that's sort of the culmination of 30 years in the fashion industry as a photographer, designer, pretty much everything except hairstylist and makeup artist. And after a sickness with my child made me come home from an actual day job, my husband and I decided that this was the time to sort of chase that dream for me. And my dream is to provide opportunities to up-and-coming, aspiring professionals in the fashion industry. And we are 100% focused on inclusion in every possible aspect. So that's what we do. And we've added numerous things to our repertoire over the last 5 years, including Ohio Fashion Week. We've done Fashion Alliance, which is an avant-garde show. We've added a Discovered Model, which I manage models with now. Of course, I'm a professional photographer. And most recently, I'm working on a book about models who have gone from sort of the ugly duckling to the beauty inside, finding it within them. And I'm launching a podcast on Monday with our spring edition. So I'm excited for that too.
Wow, you are doing a lot. How in the hell do you manage all that? 5 businesses, all from your living room. How is that possible?
You know, it's people ask me that all the time, but it's sort of all intertwined, you know? I mean, as a fashion photographer, I need to find models, I need to find designers, I need to do all the set, you know, I need to do it all. And so really all of these little businesses are just compartmentalized, you know, aspects of what I do in the beginning. So it does get a little cumbersome, but, you know, it's a labor of love, and it's important to me to be able to provide opportunity to everybody who wants a chance to start.
Beautiful, beautiful. And you know what? And you're moving and shaking during a time where a lot of people aren't moving and shaking. So that's important. You're trying to create jobs and just keep people's blood boiling with creativity and passion. So that's all a beautiful thing. So tell me how you got your start, where you started and why you started.
Well, my college degree is a commercial photographer, and I have been in editorial fashion for 30 years. So sort of my first priority and my first love. I'm sort of a fashionista, and that I've always kind of really enjoyed fashion and expressing myself a little different than everybody else. I like to stand out, and I like to stand out in good ways. It just sort of was a culmination of everything. You know, I have been a model, I have been a photographer, I have been the designer, I have been the graphic designer of the books, or the magazines. So it just kind of made sense, actually. It's interesting because when I was in college, my dream was to work for a fashion magazine. And here we are 30 years later, and I own and launched that magazine. So it's, you know, you never know how life's going to deal you. That's for sure.
It's a wild ride. And your experience is paying off, and you're using all your experiences and culminating your new empire. So that's great. And how do you do it with, I mean, you have 3 teenagers and you got all these businesses, you know, I commend you. I mean, a mother and a businesswoman, how the hell do you do it all?
Not really sure. I never stop, first of all. During the day, so my first priority is actually teaching my son. I do homeschool him, virtual school him, and have done that for 4 years now, not just because of the pandemic. That's sort of why I came home from work in the first place. Like my day job was a graphic designer. Got sick as an infant and needed total care. That was always my priority. And after school's done in the afternoon, when we're done with our lessons, then I just kind of scoot over to the other end of the table and become a CEO. So that's great. And then for like the next, 6 or 8 hours, and then my husband makes dinner, thank goodness for that.
Wow.
So, yeah. And it takes a lot of help from the kids too. They all are learning how to run a business, and to help me, 2 of them know how to use photography equipment now. 1 of them knows how to run a video equipment. They're all learning how to handle audio visual and how to handle wardrobes, you know, so they're all learning valuable things and helping me along the way, and they're free labor.
Excellent. I love free labor from our children. I mean, that's a beautiful thing. No, it's great. You're getting them involved. You're keeping them busy. They're learning the trade. That's all great stuff. And all women should be inspired by your story, because you turned a a traumatic incident in your life, and you turned it around and you made it a positive thing. You're homeschooling your child and you're running businesses. You're a true inspiration for women. So I hope all the women out there are really listening to this and can potentially reach out to you for any advice.
Yes,
and we know that you got this new podcast. Tell us what this new Fashion Empire podcast is all about.
Yes, it launches on Monday. We have recorded several episodes already. They will be taped and then uploaded for videos through YouTube and our website, and then audio on multiple platforms, of course. It's called A Fashion Empire, and we talk to myself and my co-host, who is one of the models that I work with on a regular basis. We talk to people on the inside. We talk to designers, we talk to producers, to models. Talk about what it's really like inside, the good, the bad, and the ugly. We talk about funny things that happen, so we really share the reality of the industry. And so it's entertaining, and it's also educational for somebody who might really want to get into this, so it's fun. It's just fun. And we offer ways to contact all the podcast guests. So, if you want to get in touch with that producer, you'll be able to.
Well, I love that. See, I'm all about transparent podcasts and TV shows, showing the good and the bad and the ugly of industry things, because that's what we don't hear and see enough of that. Everyone thinks everything's just so glamorous and just smoothly running. So I'm glad you're bringing to the surface all the grit and the grime that goes on behind the scenes. That's what we want to see. That's a beautiful thing. I love that.
That's 90% of it. People see, the beautiful glamour for, 10 seconds of it, but it took, 16 hours to get to that 10 seconds. And there's lots of pitfalls along the way.
That is wild. That is wild. So I'm looking forward to checking that out. So tell me, what are your true goals? You're doing so much, but what do you want to be when you grow up, essentially? Come on.
Obviously, I'm not sure.
You're still growing up. You're still progressing. Come on.
When I'm fully grown up, I hope to be able to actually have. Right now, it's like every business. We're all kind of hoping we're here tomorrow kind of business. So I hope that the business will be here for. If my kids don't want to take it over, then one of my other proteges would. More so for other people, because I'm blessed enough that my husband handles the finances. So if there's, if we have a bad month, it doesn't break us. If we have a great month, awesome. So it's not about the finances for us or for me. It's about giving people the opportunities basically that I didn't have, because I'm from the Midwest. And if you want to get into something like fashion, you have to go to New York or to Milan or, and I didn't want to leave what I knew. I love visiting there. Don't get me wrong. I love that, but I didn't want to move there. And so there wasn't much opportunity for a fashion photographer in the Midwest. So I'm basically trying to provide those kind of launching pads and platforms for people who want to just even give it a shot, and people who wouldn't have a chance in the main industries, like challenge models or petite models, or all models are welcome. Anyone who wants to give it a shot, we're going to give you a shot, so.
That's great. These days you don't have to be from New York or LA to really participate on a high level. With everything's remote. Technology has brought, models from all over the world. You don't have to fly everywhere. You just have to be passionate, be present. And it's great you're setting up a hub for the Midwest. That's a beautiful thing. You're not spoiling anyone's dreams that are outside of the typical New York and LA and Milan and all these glamorous places. So I think it's great. So when are you officially dropping the podcast?
March 22nd. Yes. That is the date that our spring issue comes out as well. Do publish quarterly online. So it's a digital download, or you can order one each and have it delivered directly to your door. Our quarterly issue spring will come out on March 22nd as well. And then this time we did something a little unique, because we always publish a companion issue that's more of just sort of a photograph book as opposed to with columns and articles and things. We always focus on a particular non-traditional model segment to uplift them and give them opportunity. And this time we did something really cool. We partnered with a lot of local small businesses who were thankful to make it through the pandemic. So then we all came together and took nominations for makeovers for essential workers. So this one is going to be called the Gratitude Guild, and it will be photographs from essential workers who got to be pampered for the day and got makeovers by our glam team and photographed by me and now published. So it's kind of fun. You know, they got to be models for the day. So that's what our special issue is this time. It's the Gratitude Guild. So thank you guys for doing so much work when we were all stuck at home.
Wow, that is a great, that's a great return for them, taking them from the front lines and putting them on the runway in one respect. So that's a great thing. Tell the audience a little about some of your most wow moments in your experience with either a set location or celebrities that you were working with. Because, we all have a little shallow bone in our body and we all want to know, live vicariously through your great experiences. So tell us some of your wow experiences in the fashion industry.
I think my biggest one was New York Fashion Week, as you can imagine. Going to New York Fashion Week and showing as a designer, that was always one of my goals, when I was younger. I actually thought about walking the runways because I used to model. But so to be able to show in New York Fashion Week was really exciting for me. Of course, I've met some celebrities from like A&T, America's Next Top Model. In fact, I managed one of the models who was on Cycle 22. So that's pretty exciting. I got to photograph her and alumni from Cycle 19 together. So that was pretty cool. Victoria Henley and Courtney DuPero. I think really the biggest thrill for me, and this is going to sound so anticlimactic, but one of the things that I've been able to do is a program called Global Ties in America is through the State Department, and they actually bring different professionals from around the world to the United States, and it's like a cross-cultural exchange. And I got to present to professionals who were aspiring from Madagascar and people from the United Emirates and people from Morocco and Monaco. And I mean, it's really, really cool to be able to, I now have connections all over the world. I did before, but like I have connections, in all these really cool countries. Some of them don't even speak English. It's really cool. It's not like, I met J-Lo or anything like that. But that to me is way, way cooler because making an impact within the industry, some of these designers didn't have any avenue until they met me. Now they've been published. Now they've been, now they're being seen. So it's kind of cool to be able to. That's probably the coolest thing that's happened to me.
Well, that's like the UN of fashion. So yeah, that is a beautiful thing. Bringing the whole world together and putting a spotlight on people and designers that would never have a real shot. So that I think that's great. I think it's wonderful. So, so yeah, we're all looking forward to checking out your Fashion Empire podcast and looking forward to everything that Hot Ohio brings to the table. We truly appreciate you coming through on Mind Your Biz and letting us mind your biz.
Our business, yeah.
Yes, we got inside.
Yeah.
And so we really appreciate you and all the work you're doing for a lot of people. So Jackie Bertolette, we appreciate you and Hot Ohio, and we're looking forward to watching you grow up and progress.
Yes, thank you. I'm looking forward to that day too.
Excellent. We hope we can give you a shout soon and see how you're doing.
Absolutely. I'd love to be on again. Thanks for having me.
All right. Thank you. Stay healthy and well.